or Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Tellurides, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
You've got it locked on your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Nick Saban Show. This is Eli Gold, and this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff, your home for Army Black Knight football. I'm joined in studio tonight with my co-host and compadre and smarter half of the team, Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board. How you doing, Steve?
Smarter half? Well, why thank you, kind sir.
There you go. And hey, we want to get a little business out of the way right off the bat from one of our sponsors, Nick's Restaurante. If you call in at 256-576-4977, and you'll get a $50 gift certificate to Nick's. And we'd like to give that away. Jackson, did you say somebody called already? Okay.
Yeah, I think somebody got the scoop early.
Okay, well, let's put that person on. I think it's Joel Gray, right? Joel, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Good. Hey, well, guess what? You win a $50 gift certificate to Nick's. All you got to do is go down there anytime after Friday and claim it.
Awesome,
man.
Good. Hey, so I know, I don't have to say anything, but I want to hear you guys' take. Are we going to see the BC team that played Florida State tough, or are we going to see the team that struggled against Virginia?
Well, I will tell you this. Why don't you stick around, and you'll hear that during the show. We're not going to give it away now.
That's a great question, because so I've got a son-in-law who's a New York Giants fan, and back in the day when Eli Manning was quarterbacking there, before every game he said, are we going to see the good Eli or the bad Eli? So I think, that's a great question. We'll tackle that here in a bit.
Yeah, and I'll let Nick know that, or I'll let Tom Chapman know that you're our winner, and again, go down after Friday and pick it up. And thanks for calling, Joel.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. Hope to see you guys Saturday.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And that, folks, is an example of the early bird getting the worm and somebody reading our Facebook page. So good for Joel Gray.
Well, first strike.
First strike. Well, Steve, let's talk a little bit about, not much, about the Syracuse game, 29-16. As Charles Dickens wrote, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times.
It was the best first half and it was the worst second half. Yeah, it was just really a contrast. I mean, going into halftime, if you'd said we were going to be up going into halftime, I'm thinking, we've got a shot at this. But it just seemed like Army was doing everything right. -1 red zone where I think they had an opportunity to punch it in for a touchdown and settled for the field goal. But they really flipped the switch, and Syracuse made some halftime adjustments, both in the passing game, sort of turned the quarterback loose in the running game, and it was dramatic how different the two halves were.
Well, it was unbelievable to me how different the first two halves were, and I was just wondering if we didn't make coaching adjustments, or we just said, hey, what we're doing is working just fine, and then all of a sudden they said, hey, we can win this thing. And if you look at the replay on YouTube where they show the 32 key plays of the game, we didn't have any key plays in the second half.
Well, I think the opening of the third quarter, there was an opportunity for a pick six that did not happen, and woulda, shoulda, coulda. Would that have changed the entire complexion of the second half and really established the momentum on Army's side? Who knows? But, yeah, missed opportunity there. But at the same time, Syracuse, a very, very talented ball club. And, the fact that we stood toe-to-toe with them for a good portion of that game, there's something to build upon. And, oftentimes seasons turn more on adversity than the good times. And I think, who knows, going into a bye week with a really nasty, gnawing loss under your belt, can't help but feel that may be a good thing when we look at the balance of the season.
Well, I hope it's going to be a motivator. And speaking of by the way, we're not going to drag that Syracuse game through the mud a lot. We had, both of us marked it down as a loss anyway. At least we only lost one half instead of losing the whole game, if that makes any sense.
So we get like 0.2 win out of that?
Yeah, if this was some weird soccer league, we'd probably get points for it. But let's kind of look at the overall season, Steve, and see how, it's midpoint. It's sort of the midpoint. We're 4 games into it. We're 2-2. I personally thought we would be 3-1 at this juncture. I think you probably did, and everybody probably did too.
Yeah, I think we all had ULM down as a win, and probably in hindsight, that's probably a more painful loss than Syracuse. You lose to a good team, even if you have a chance to win, okay, I can accept that. But I think we were the superior team at ULM and just defeated ourselves with a lot of untimely mistakes and a whole lot of turnovers.
Yeah, that was a tough one to swallow. Syracuse, hey, we can hold our heads high after that, and hopefully, like you said, we can get something to get people motivated on from that loss. But one thing before I forget, and I'm often forgetting things, tonight on the show we have a real good show for you tonight. We have 2 great interviews at approximately 7:15. We have Coach Mark West of the Sprint football team who plays Navy this week, and at 7:30 we have Coach Connor Hughes, who's the strength and conditioning coach, and he whips them youngins into shape.
I tell you, if you want to get around somebody who will motivate you, you couldn't afford him, but I'd love a personal trainer like that. I mean, this guy is remarkable, and I follow him on Twitter, and it's amazing the science behind what he does, the focus on techniques and lifting, prevent injury prevention and that. Really remarkable. Army's very fortunate to have him on the staff and leading that strength and conditioning staff for the Army football.
Well, Steve, you can afford me. I could show you how to work out with 12-ounce curls.
Run faster. Come on.
Faster.
Come
12-ounce curl time.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. We've got a couple of minutes before we got to slide into our first break and talk to Coach West. Just actually got a minute. What's your highlight and low light of the season, briefly?
I think, the highlight was going down to San Antonio and beating a very good UTSA team. And, they've sort of struggling, and I don't know, maybe the loss to Army sort of set them back. But that was a real plus. I would say the low point from a game standpoint was UL Monroe to walk out of there with an L on the schedule when we should have won, bottom line.
Well, my highlight and low light of the season is kind of the same thing. My one highlight is Bryson Daly, and I think he's shown us the potential he has to be a big-time quarterback. And my low light is Bryson Daly, because he's also shown that this is his first year playing quarterback, and he's kind of overextending himself and trying to do too much. And
I think the judgment, the decision making will come with the reps. And I really I think we're going to see a different quarterback in that aspect coming into Boston College. But yeah, forcing some passes that he would love to have back, and just working on his mechanics, squaring the shoulders. He's a very athletic, very talented player, and those guys tend to think I can make any throw, which makes them good. But at the same time, they try to compensate with that with neglecting the mechanics.
And that's kind of what I said. And folks, we'll be back in a few minutes with Coach Mark West. Remember, make your reservations for Nick's Ristorante this weekend. They have Jeremy Williams in the lounge, and that man can caterwaul. He's good. And November 10th and 11th, they have their Elvis impersonator in there. And thank you very much. He's better than I am. Worth going to see. Jackson, take us out of here, and we'll be back in a few with Coach Mark West, Army Sprint Football.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industries, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
Is your AC system or heating unit making those sounds that go bump in the middle of the night? Thomas here from Talon Heating and Air again. Thomas, you guys are just a phone call away from keeping those ghosts and goblins from causing nightmare problems.
That's right. We're offering a $59 special right now to do a heating tune-up. That's getting your air conditioner or your heater ready for the wintertime. We're also doing a free gas safety inspection along with that. So if you have gas in your home, we have Master Gas here on staff. We're certified with the state to take care of all your gas issues. So we're going to throw that in with that $59 tune-up.
And if you can get that tune-up now, it'll be ready to go once the cold temperature set in.
That's right. Yeah, all you have to do is give us a call at 256-503-4490. Visit us at our website, talenthvac.com. We'll be more than happy to get out there and get you tuned up.
One more time with the phone number.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Don't let those heating and cooling units go bump in the night.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Some of us making a solid run at 90 degrees, but we should fall just shy. We drop into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms are going to be possible through Thursday afternoon. The best chance of rain looks like it's going to come Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford along with Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board. And this is segment number 2 of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. You may have heard the commercial from Tom Abraham moments ago about North Alabama Mortgage. And I can tell you this from personal experience, that's the place to go for all your mortgage needs. And simply because the interest rates are high, don't think there's things down there that he and his team cannot help. They can help you with, pardon me. North Alabama Mortgage, visit them at NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Tell them Crawdad sent you. And now we are joined by a legendary Army coach, the longtime coach of the lightweight 172-pound limit 11-man football. Sprint football team, Coach Mark West. Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Crawdad, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. And I got to correct you right up front.
Uh-oh.
The weight limit has gone up to 178. Just so you know.
Oh man,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when your son played, it was 172, and we went up to 178. I think we're on our third or fourth season at 178 now.
Wow,
so
extra 6 pounds to sling around.
Exactly.
Well, just a real quick follow-up on that. Has that opened up more slots, or are you still getting about the same amount of people?
About the same amount of people. I had 80 freshmen come out this summer for tryouts, which was awesome. That was, one of the highest numbers I've had, and now they had more kids come down from what we call the big boy or the fat boy team, to come down and play as well. So I think that's a really good weight right now.
Well, that's good. Well, hey, one of the reasons we wanted to have you on, by the way, for our listeners out there, the Sprint team is 2-0. They are absolutely scoring lots of points, 47-6 in the opener against Mansfield, 31-7 the second game against Penn. But this week is Army-Navy, a star game, and I believe y'all aren't playing that at Shea Stadium. Where's that game at?
No, we moved it up to Mikey. Everybody's excited about it. We're actually going to get a march on this year with one of the regiments. They've got a lot of other activities, events planned. We're gonna lure them in with Chick-fil-A. So the first 1,000 cadets show up, going to get a Chick-fil-A. So
nice.
Come on, who doesn't want a Chick-fil-A, right?
There you go. So
exactly.
Looking at the two teams, I mean, you look, both of you are 2-0. You look points for, points against, almost identical. Seems like you're evenly matched. How do you see this game playing out this week?
Probably like just about every other Army-Navy game, it's going to go down to the wire, and the team that makes the least mistakes and can make the most plays, that's the team that's going to win. And I mean, if you look at our rosters, it's kind of eerie. They've got 22 seniors on the roster, which is pretty large for a senior class in sprint football. Knowing that our roster can only have 65, that's by league rules. So they've got 22, we've got 21.
Wow.
But they've got a huge freshman class. We've got a huge freshman class. I mean, if you look at it, it's really kind of eerie. And that's what I told my guys, at our Sunday meeting was like, guys, look in the mirror, and you're going to see a Navy midshipman looking across from you, because that's basically who you're playing this week. I mean, it's really it boils down to the grit, the determination, the fight each and every play. I mean, it's one of those games that you dream about, right? It's why you play the game of football, and we're really looking forward to it.
Hey, Coach, a quick question before I forget to ask this. I'm forgetful today. You can watch this on the Go Army Sports website on Night Vision, I know. Is there another way to watch it, or is that pretty much it?
No, that's it. They do a great job. If you haven't watched our live stream, this year, of course, our home game against Penn, and then even last year, we live streamed all of our home games. In the past, we've only been given one game to live stream, but thanks to I'll mention his name, Scott Belleville, class of '93. He played sprint football, and he was not pleased with our live streaming. And so he basically said, "Hey, look, I'll do what I need to do to make sure your live streaming looks good."
Wow.
And he went out and basically, helped purchase all the equipment. We bring a telecast team with commentators and replay. I mean, it really is as good as any live stream out there. And so if you go to our website, the GoArmyWestPoint.com and go to the Sprint page, you'll be able to find the link.
That's fantastic.
No, it really is. It's unbelievable, and that's really all Scott Belleville, and I really appreciate what he's done.
And that's got to be a feather in your cap from a recruiting standpoint. To get that kind of exposure where mom and dad, girlfriend back at home can watch the games out there, which probably is a distinctive that sets you apart from the other sprint teams out there.
Absolutely. It certainly doesn't hurt. And I've already gotten tons of comments, emails, phone calls, text messages from alumni, parents who we're just raving over the live stream quality of our last home game against Penn.
Wow, that's
well,
amazing.
as one who has watched many Sprint football games in front of my computer, I'll be watching it Friday night. And one question I had for you, Mark, about the Steve and I were talking about this earlier. The league composition has changed a good bit. It seems like it's not as big as it used to be. What's going to happen with the CSFL, the Collegiate Sprint Football League, in the East Coast and maybe in other places?
Well, the league's in still, we're still in pretty good shape. We had Princeton back out a few years ago, and then unfortunately Aldous and Broadus, they would have been in their fourth season this year, but their entire school shut down.
Oh my!
Apparently they weren't paying their light bills, but so we're down to 8 teams again, and we can survive with 8. That just means everybody plays. We probably do away with the division format like we have right now, and everybody plays everybody, and the best team is declared the league champion. But we do have interest from several other schools. As a matter of fact, next week I'm going to travel to Long Island to Malloy University. It's a co-ed school. There used to be I say that because it used to be a private all-women Catholic school, but they've gone co-ed now, and they've got about 16 collegiate teams, and they're looking to expand their athletics, and so they're very, very interested in joining the league. So, that would boost us back up to 9, plus we've got a couple other schools that are interested. So I'm not really too concerned because I believe the schools that are in the league now are very solid in their commitment to the league, and also another good news story is that they started a new league in the Midwest. It's called the Midwest Sprint Football League, and they're already up to 8 teams. This will be their 3rd season, and we're hoping within the next year or two we can actually have a true national championship between the champion of our league and the champion of their league, which would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be outstanding. Hey, I got a question. Just a couple weeks ago, the Academy announced that they had knotted up 5 different coaches who were coming off of seasons when they were declared Patriot League Coaches of the Year within their respective sports, and one of those was you. So what was that? What was that like in the West household when you extended your contract?
Well, it was obviously exciting because I love what I do. I'm passionate about the program. I'm passionate about these kids, and having the opportunity, right, to develop them not only as football players but as future leaders of our country. So I was really, really excited to get that extension, and I look forward to the next 5 years.
Well, hey, Coach, one thing we always we're proud of down here is the Huntsville connection to the Sprint team. It seems that's alive and well now with J.P. Ross and, J.B. Economy, Barrett Crawford, and a lot of people from John Paul II have played there. So is the Huntsville connection's working out good for you, right?
Oh, keep it coming. Yeah, they play some pretty good football down in that neck of the woods.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
The Gerald Moores and the Matt Souders of the world, and of course Seth Brown, he's our backup quarterback right now, and you mentioned JP. JP's one of our running backs, and just doing a great job for us. Keep them coming for sure.
Well, the West legacy's, quarterback Mark West, who's on the Hall of Fame out there somewhere, and how you now have your second son who's a quarterback on the team.
I do. He's a lowly plebe right now. Probably doing his plebe duties right now as I speak. But no, we're excited to have Kyle on the team. Of course, Keegan was my oldest child. Ended up being MVP of the league his senior year, and not to jinx Kyle, but he's got potential to be a pretty good one. But he's learning the ropes right now. He's doing his job as scout team quarterback. Learning the offense, learning the system, and really just becoming acquainted, if you will, with West Point and the plebe fourth class system and all that. So we're definitely excited to have him on board.
All right, Coach. Well, hey, thank you for your time. Beat Navy this weekend, this Friday. I'll be watching it on Night Vision, and we will let you go.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. And we'll be out of here. Come right back with Coach Connor Hughes, the strength coach for Army West Point.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Buongiorno, Tom Chapman from Nick's Ristorante here with Chef Joey Kindred. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Seriously, what's so great about being chef at Nick's?
Serving award-winning 21-day aged certified Angus beef, fresh seafood, and third-generation Italian family recipes.
That and an awesome owner, right?
So, if I say yes, do I get a raise?
No. What else should people know about Nick?
We showcase local musicians and have a cigar-friendly bar and bistro.
Time to put you on the spot, Chef. What's the phone number?
256-489-8280.
What's the website?
NicksRestaurante.com.
And what are the hours?
Doors open at 5 o'clock, Tuesday through Saturday. Dining room closes at 9. Bar closes depending on volume.
Molto bene, Chef. It's time to say goodbye, Joey.
Goodbye, Joey.
Come on, man.
Okay, how's this? Ciao e buono appetito.
Nice. Horrible accent, but nice. So again, please come see us at Nick's. Can't wait to see you there.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
New coordinators.
That's as good as money, sir.
New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
Hi, and you all may be taking the week off, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody, to the third segment of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff with me, Bill Crawford, and Steve Kripke, the human Ouija board and a very smart guy when it comes to Army stuff. Now we're joined by the head football strength and conditioning coach at Army, and that's Connor Hughes. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. Excited to be back on. I always look forward to this every season.
Well, you're one of our better interviews, and we like having you on also.
Oh, yeah.
Not that the other folks are bad, but just some of the stuff that you're doing up there, strength and conditioning wise, is fascinating. And I'll lead it off with a question. We had a coach, Drew Thatcher, on earlier, and he said, I got a lot of 300-pound linemen, and none of them got any fat on them. And how do you get people that big and in that good a shape? What's the secret sauce?
I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that. They do have a little bit of fat on them, because if they were 300 pounds and had no fat on them, I'd be a miracle worker. But they're probably, those guys are probably averaging about right about 300 pounds, and they're probably averaging about 15% body fat each of them. Some higher, some lower, but it's a testament to those guys and the amount that they've bought into. Obviously, the new scheme. And we all knew that we would have to get bigger up front, because we're going to be doing some different things blocking wise and some new techniques. And it's still about speed and explosion, but it's a little bit more of controlling the line of scrimmage than just absolute mauling people the second that the ball is snapped. So we knew we had to get bigger. So I kind of invested in a new type of training system that I've been thinking about for a while, and reached out to some people I really trusted in the field and kind of wanted to run this thing. So if you think about a normal weightlifting program that somebody would do in a gym, they'd do 3 sets of 10 at a certain weight, and you're not moving that much weight because it's 10 reps. So we kind of flipped that on its head for the linemen this semester, and then pretty much all year from winter all the way through the summer, to try to get them bigger and stronger and put size on them, but not put any fat on them. And we'd do the same reps, so it might be 30 reps total, but we're doing 10 sets of 3, 12 sets of 2, maybe 20 sets of 1, where obviously when you're doing a ton more sets with lower reps, you're getting a ton more heavy weight volume in. And I tell you what, our guys bought into it, and it was grueling. It was grueling as all heck, but like, our guys bought into it. They worked their tails off all semester, bought into the diets, bought into eating right and supplementation, and they grew, they exploded. So it's hats off to those guys. They really bought into it.
That's fantastic. So, yeah, you mentioned there the change to the new offensive scheme under Coach Thatcher, and you talked about the offensive linemen. What about some of the other positions, specifically the skill positions? I was reluctant to use that word because every position is a skill position, but the running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, what changes, if any, have come about in their strength and conditioning program due to the new system?
So really, our skill guys and our combo guys, my associate head strength coach, Jake Riedel, who's fantastic, he takes the lead on really the skill and the combo guys training. I work with the O-line, D-line mostly. And what he did this entire offseason was, after we got through spring ball, we kind of saw what the new offense was like. And our skill guys were gassed during spring ball, because you think about our wide receivers, they're running a ton more practice, doing a ton more just running around, catching the ball, and doing more 7-on-7 things. So our guys are tired. So we needed to really invest in their conditioning levels and their speed levels to get them faster. So we shifted the focus a little bit with those guys. And normally in the off season, say in the summer, we'll run 4 times a week, and we'll lift 4 times a week with both the skill and the line group. But really towards the second half of the summer, we really shifted that, and we focused. We would do longer runs with the skill and the combo, so almost an hour and a half to try to simulate a practice to be out there. So it normally about 45 minutes. We doubled that time, kept them at 4 times a week, just to get them faster, and they did a ton more single leg work to develop those muscles, ton more hamstring work to try to prevent hamstring injuries. Now, if you're the guy, the strength coach that solves hamstring injuries in the NFL or college football or any level, I mean, you'll be a millionaire the next day. But we worked on that and just try to condition our guys to get them faster, to just be able to handle the loads both in practice and game that they're going to see with the new offense.
Hey, Coach, speaking of injuries, you look at the game now, you see things like Aaron Rodgers, getting hurt, tearing his Achilles. You see a lot of non-contact ligament tears. What can you do in the training room that helps avoid those type of ligament tears and non-contact injuries? Anything, or is it just a matter of the good Lord looking out after people?
I would say prevent, impossible. I'd say reduce. You do that with good quality training, by obviously doing the basic exercise in the weight room extremely well over a long period of time. It's going to strengthen your muscles. It's going to strengthen those tendons. But the actual ability to sometimes in a game or in a practice, things are going to happen. Your body's going to be put in a position that it's just not used to being in. Like, say an Achilles for some reason. That might be an extreme stretch of the Achilles where you've done the same movement, that same movement 100 times. You do it once with just the angle, just to change a little bit, and that thing can go. Same thing with some of the non-contact injuries, but it's prepping our guys for the situations that they're going to be put in a college football game. And we're not going to simulate the contact or anything like that, but putting their knees and their ankles and their shoulders in those same ranges of motion, both in the weight room and on the field, pretty much 365 days a year, just to strengthen up those areas. We also, to really reduce injuries in practice and games, we need to manage the overall load of our team during practice, during workout. So our guys wear GPS units every single practice, every single game. We wear them the entire time we condition in the summer, and the entire time they condition in the winter. And what we try to do is we try to build up the amount of running that we're doing in the summer, especially with our skill guys, to match what a practice will look like when they jump into camp. So it's trying to mimic that load, and we can do it so scientifically now that 15 years ago when I started this career, we were guessing. But now I know exactly what our running backs do in practice, and we can try to mimic that all summer long to get them in condition to do it.
Wow, that is amazing.
That's
You're
amazing,
bringing the science of it. So yesterday in Coach Munkin's press conference, he alluded to a phenomena, for lack of a better term, sort of the plebes coming into this. You know, they haven't been under your tutelage during the off season. They hit Beast Barracks. You know, the physical, emotional demands of that. They jump into preseason, and he said about a third of the way through the season, they sort of hit a wall. Unpack that for us, and what do you do from your vantage point to help them power through that?
So really, if you think about the landscape of college football now, every single freshman, other than at the three academies, and I'm talking Power 5, Group of 5, FCS, even some D2 schools, they're getting their freshmen on June 1st, and they're showing up and they're doing football training from June 1st all the way through August. They're leading right up to camp. Now, obviously, with our guys going to Beast Barracks, that's a good month or 5 weeks of them, and they're training. Don't get me wrong; they're grinding, they're working their tails off. But it's a different kind of training than what a college football program is going to go through. And it's not lifting and sprinting. It's doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, all the stuff you guys have done. You know what it's like. Yeah. And then we go ahead and we throw them in the field and Coach Munkin and I and the athletic training staff and the whole coaching staff kind of develops a plan to try to build them up so that we don't get a bunch of guys hurt the first 3 weeks. But really, like, once the novelty of playing college football and being at a Division I college football school starts to wear off, and academics, which obviously you guys know it is a top-of-the-line education. I went to Springfield College, and let me tell you, the education at Springfield College, and it is not like West Point. So that starts to wear on these guys. The first time they're starting to, like, because no matter what time these guys go to bed at night, because they're doing schoolwork all night, they have formation in the morning. So normal school, those guys wake up they might be doing work till 11, 12 o'clock at night. They wake up at maybe 10 a.m. Our guys are up for formation every single morning, getting ready. So all that and the homesickness and missing their girlfriends, all that starts to wear on them about this time of the year. And you can see it in their face. So really for me, it's about trying to manage that load, both what we do in the weight room and what they do out in the practice field, but also educating them more about sleep, more about nutrition, more about hydration. Because if they take care of those three things, the majority of their recovery, and you can do all the fancy stuff you want, but the majority of your recovery is going to come from eating, sleeping, hydrating, doing what human beings have been doing for centuries. Yeah. So, and then also just educating them a little bit about, hey, this is your mentality now. Like, you got to be a tough dude if you're going to play Army football. So sometimes you got to grind through those nights of 3 or 4 hours sleep and come out here and still perform and still give a great attitude. So.
Hey, Coach, a question. I know when Steve and I were there, the varsity athletes, core squad athletes, had their own separate area to eat in the mess hall. Is that still the case, and do they have a separate menu than what the rest of the core cadets eats?
Separate menu, no. It's going to be the same meal that the entire core cadets has. I know the football team has its own area where our guys all sit together, and you see these little postcards on the tables that say heavy, and it's like our guys pretty much have all you can eat every time. Now it's the same exact food that the rest of the cadets are eating, but they all have they eat the exact same food, but it's as much as they want, because obviously we need to be able to maintain those 300-pound guys all season long. And we do a great job. We have an unbelievable resource in our nutrition center. Inside of our weight room, we have one inside of our weight room, one down inside of our locker room, and our guys have. We have prepackaged meals there that those guys can take, and as they're on the way out the door, there's a million different types of protein shakes, some simple carbs. But our guys, when we're practicing, since we're getting out of practice so late, I think we walked off the field today at 7 p.m., our guys would have to rush, get showered, not be able to go to the training room, and actually go down to eat in the mess hall. So what we do is we actually cater in dinners in season and in spring ball for our guys from a bunch of local restaurants, and that's what our guys do for dinner every single night during the season, just because they wouldn't be able to get down to the mess hall and get everything they needed in. So we've been doing that for our guys, and it's had a great impact on our ability to maintain weight. So I assign all of our guys a body weight. They got to be at the end of the summer training. So I take the average of the 2 weeks of what they weighed at the end of their summer training with us, and they have to make that every single night after practice during the season. If they don't, they got to walk up that hill at 6 a.m. And right now it's not bad because it's probably 50 degrees at 6 a.m. But in November, December, it's going to be, it's going to be 30. It might be 15. So they might do that once or twice, and then they find a way to get some extra food in during the day so they can make that weight.
Feed them calzones. That's what we ate.
Yeah. Hey,
we do.
Another thing that Coach Munkin mentioned yesterday was we might see the season debut of Tyrell Robinson, which Army fans have been longing for, and just the electric style of play that he has. Tell me about your role in his recovery, not only physically, but a lot of times when you have a serious injury like that, it's also what's going on between the temples. And I'm healed, but do I believe that I'm healed? Do I believe that I can, push that joint, that tendon, to its limits and return to the style of play that he did? So talk about that physical, mental aspect in his recovery.
So number one is we have an unbelievable athletic training staff that meets with the doctors at Keller daily, and they have conversations about these guys' rehab, and that gets pushed right up to us in the weight room. When I tell you our athletic training staff is top notch, they give me a daily report of every single guy that has some sort of injury, whether it's the most minor ankle sprain all the way up to an ACL tear. And daily they're updating what they can do in the weight room, what they're allowed to do on the field, how many cuts they're allowed to take on the right leg, how many cuts. And it's again, we can track all that stuff with the GPS. So it's been slowly building up his recovery and getting him more and more comfortable. And you guys have seen T-Rob obviously play, and he is unbelievably dynamic. One of the most dynamic human beings I've seen ever. But some of the stuff I saw him do in the weight room, in his rehab, is it's phenomenal. He looks like you would never know that he was that he went through his injury last year, and he continues to get better. But it's really going to be a game time decision between our athletics training staff, Coach Munkin, the offensive staff, and T-Rob. He's going to have a say in whether he feels comfortable with it, but really building up his confidence just through, taking reps in practice, building up in the weight room, because he's a phenomenal weightlifter, phenomenal doing all the agility drills. So it's just been a slow process with him, and just keep building his confidence, and just reminding him like who he is. And sometimes he doesn't think that he's sometimes and I'm not T-Rob specifically. Some guys they don't trust themselves coming back. I tell you what, he has been phenomenal. He's been awesome with telling us exactly how he feels. If he's feeling sore, he's feeling good today, and we kind of base his rehab and his return to play protocols based on that. And it really, I have Coach Riedel and one of my other assistants, Anthony MacArthur, who actually is from Mobile, Alabama, down where you guys are at. They did a phenomenal job with his rehab and just getting more comfortable, getting confident. And I tell you what, we've showed him film, just shown T-Rob film of him doing agility drills, him sprinting, and he looks good now. But we'll see what happens this weekend, and if he's part of the game plan.
Well, Coach, hey, thank you so much for your time. Great interview as always.
Yes,
I
always come away pumped.
Yeah, I'd like to see those
absolutely.
8 yards
no
per
problem
carry.
at all. I appreciate it, guys.
I'd like to see it back on the field, and also the last Army guy to return a punt for a touchdown. So, hey,
there you go.
Keep them strong, feed them calzones, Coach, and we'll let you go. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we're going to get out of here and come back for our last segment where we're going to talk about the Boston College Eagles in a game which for us is kind of a must-win game this weekend if we want to go to a bowl game. And this is Crawdad back in a few minutes with our last segment.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. Some of us making a solid run at 90 degrees, but we should fall just shy. We drop into the mid 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. A couple of scattered showers, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms are going to be possible through Thursday afternoon. The best chance of rain looks like it's going to come Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the last segment of Crawdad's, not the last segment tonight of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. We shall return.
Stick a fork in us. We're done.
We're done. We're out of here. Hey, I want to mention our one other sponsor, Joe Ross, a good friend of ours, a higher echelon here in Hunts Vegas, Alabama. They are a consulting company, and if you got some problems or you need something figured out, Joe and his team can figure it out.
That's right. What's the tagline we came up with? Smart guys doing tough things.
Yeah, smart guys doing tough things. Well, Steve, speaking of that, we have a tough game this weekend with Boston College, the Eagles, with Baldwin the Eagle, their mascot. And this is a game that if we want to go to a bowl, we need to win it.
Yeah. I think we got 4 home games against FBS opponents. We win those, we're off to the bowl game, and I think this is that I believe all are winnable. Troy, after we play Boston College, UMass, and then Coastal Carolina, I think all of those are winnable. This one's going to be a tough one. Got a true dual threat quarterback who's almost got 400 yards on the ground. Coupled with already 1,000 yards through the air, very capable. Yet, as Joel sort of alluded to, there's the good Boston College and there's the bad Boston College. And they always seem to figure out a way to shoot themselves in the foot. And even against, last week they beat a pretty sad Virginia team that's currently ranked 110th out of 133 FBS schools. They finally got penalties under control because they practically lead the nation in penalty yardage and number of penalties, but then they have 4 turnovers to keep it close, and they just barely pulled out a win over Virginia. So it's hard for me, if I'm a Boston College fan, it's hard for me to be optimistic because I've just watched them all season long shoot themselves in the foot.
Well, they put up a pretty good fight against Florida State.
Yeah, and it was sort of almost like our Syracuse game. They played really good in the first half, sort of hung with them early in the second half, and then Florida State, I think Florida State was looking past them. They didn't bring their A game. They didn't look like the Florida State in any of their other games, so I think they sort of caught them. But you're right. I mean, when they get it all together and they play up to their competition, they're a formidable team, not to be taken lightly.
Well, the thing that worries me about them, and you nailed it, is their quarterback, Castellanos. He's a big, rangy guy who can run, who can throw, kind of like Schrader was against Syracuse, and hopefully we can contain him. One of our big nemesis throughout the years has been a quarterback who drops back to pass, nobody's open, and he takes off.
And he's big from a weight standpoint. He's actually 5'10", so a little bit smaller, especially by FBS quarterback standards, but he's almost 200 pounds. So he's almost a running back kind of physique, but has a great arm, sees the field really well, but occasionally throws an interception. I think he's got 4 interceptions on the year, roughly an interception per game. So doesn't always make the best decisions.
Well, our defense is going to have to step it up and play like they did in the first half of Syracuse, and not go to some sort of zone pass defense where people are just running free back there. We can't allow that to happen. But I think it's going to be a good game. Our overall record against Boston College, they're leading the series 25-13. By the way, I went to a couple of those games when I was up there at Boston College. I can't tell those stories on the air, but I had a lot of fun.
But I think you're right. It's going to be a good game, but I think the game plan, especially defensively, I think we've got one of the better defenses that we've had in recent years. I think our DB tandem is solid. We've got to get pressure on them. But again, as we saw with the second half of the Syracuse game, once we allow that quarterback out of the pocket and allow him freedom of running, that's when we get into trouble. So we've got to contain him, close the pocket, keep those linebackers in there that are ready to contain him up against the middle, and then we need our corners to really shut down those wide receivers.
And also we need to continue to play well in special teams. And by the way, little known fact, Army fans, we are the least penalized team in the country with only 9 penalties. I think we're tied with Michigan for that nice little stat. And Steve, we're going to have to get out of here in a minute, so go ahead and give me a pick.
I think it's going to be a close game, but I think we win in the end. I have got Army winning it 28-24.
guess what? I have Army winning at 31-28. So we kind of
close game.
Close game. It's going to be a close game. By the way, if you want to listen to it on the radio, do it right here on WZZN. Download the app, go to Zone 2, or go to the website and go to Zone 2. It'll be there 11 o'clock Central Time, 12 Eastern, but I don't think many of our people need that Eastern time stat. So it's going to be a great game.
I think final thing. I think penalties and turnovers will end up being the difference, and I think we will lead the way in both those areas. We will consistently, minimize the penalties, and we showed last game that we can rein in the turnovers, or we've trending in that direction. So I'm very optimistic.
Well, one final thing, Steve. You're an A&M fan. I'm a Bama fan. Bet you straight up for dinner before the show next week.
Sounds good.
All right. How many days do we have?
Sir, there are 65 and about days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
And, folks, we're going to get out of here. And as we always say when we leave the show, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing, there's a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and a Coast Guard person somewhere standing a watch so you can enjoy the life you have in this great country of ours. This is Crawdad. I'm out. Go Army.
Beat Navy.
See you next week.
Are you tired of listening to your favorite musician sing her favorite songs? Now Tom Abraham speaks Rihanna.
When the sun shines, we'll shine together. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella.